So now that we're all straight on raster graphics and vector graphics, I suppose the next logical order of business would be a tour of the Photoshop interface. And as you can see, there's a whole lot inside the interface here. So I want to try and break it down for you, and I'll kind of dissect things here for you. So if you haven't launched Photoshop, go ahead and launch Photoshop. And if you'd like, you can go ahead and open up an image, so at least you can see something. I opened up barn1.jpg. You'll find that JPEG inside your project files folder. Go ahead and pop that guy open if you want. You just choose File, Open, and then go and navigate to your project files. All right, now in terms of the interface, running right across the top of my screen here, obviously we have the menu bar here, and there's all kinds of different commands and options and tools available to us inside the menus. We'll be using a lot of the different menu commands there. If you want, you can pause the video and take a look at some of the different options that we have available inside the menus. You can kind of familiarize yourself a little bit if you like. And then just below the menu bar, at least here on the Mac anyway, we have what's referred to as the application frame or the application bar. And at least here on the Mac side, we have some icons here. We can launch Bridge, for example. We could launch Mini Bridge. Now, Mini Bridge is something that's new here inside Photoshop CS5. We have some view options here, a little drop-down menu, view extras, so we can get into guides and rulers and the grid and so on. We'll talk about these options in just a little while. We have a zoom option and a few other settings there as well. You can dig into those if you like. And then over towards the right-hand side, we have workspaces. Now, what's a workspace? Well, I want to show you how you can go and create your own workspaces in due time. But essentially what a workspace is a Photoshop interface arrangement, if that makes sense. So in other words, we have the palettes on the right-hand side, the toolbox on the left-hand side, which palettes are open and how are they organized and all that good stuff, right? So we'll talk about your workspaces. And then below your application bar, we have the options bar. Now, the options bar is kind of an interesting guy. He's dynamic. And what I mean by that is depending on what I'm doing, depending on what tools I have activated inside the toolbox, I'll see different options available to me on this options bar. Of course, I have the main image window as well. And then running down the left-hand side of the screen, we have our toolbox. We'll take a closer look at the toolbox in just a moment. And then going down the right-hand side of our interface, I already mentioned this, but we have our palettes. And of course, we have all kinds of different palettes available to us in Photoshop. We'll take a closer look at the palettes after we take a look at the toolbox. But I hope this at least gives you a rough idea of the interface here anyway. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much here. Now, what we'll do next is we'll take a closer look at the toolbox, and then, as I say, after we take a look at the toolbox, we'll take a closer look at the palettes inside Photoshop CS5.